Folks, guys, what's going on? I'm back at the shop. I just had to switch vehicles. Guys, I just came from a call. I'm on the way to an estimate right now. You guys will see that in a few minutes when I get there. This lady's not going to be home for another 15 minutes. But guys, I got a couple minutes to yap about the call I just came from. I was going to put this on video, but guys, this is like one of those nuisance calls slash less than 2-second calls. Guys, this customer called last night. This was an existing customer from like 7 years ago. They never had a maintenance agreement with us. But guys, this customer called and said that they had 2 AC units, I believe, upstairs and downstairs. He called last night and said that the AC unit upstairs was leaking water out of one of the supply vents. And I'm like, okay, turn it off and we'll take a look at it in the morning. Guys, I get out there and like the customer actually thought that the drains was backed up. Like he didn't go in the attic. He just seen water dripping from the supply and he turned the AC off. So how the customer was explaining it, I'm like, all right, maybe the drains are backed up. I don't know what's going on. Guys, I get out there, AC unit is working fine. We've got a 20-degree split. First thing I did was I go in the attic. The unit has, it's a horizontal 90% furnace and coil up in the attic. Everything's bone dry up there. So I go up there with like 2 or 3 bottles of water, pour all the waters down the drain. Chap is clean, by the way. Like there is no obvious signs of water blockage. But I'm like, you know what? Just to eliminate the possible drainage problem, I'm just going to pour at least 2 or 3 bottles of water down the drain, which is what I did. No leaks. And guys, as soon as I got done pouring water down the drain, the customer was like, oh yeah, by the way, do you guys do maintenance? And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, by the way, with maintenance, did you replace the filter? He was like, no, I actually didn't. Guys, I take the filter out and that filter was clogged up solid. And I'm like, bingo. First things first, if that filter is dirty, that's something that you need to correct first and foremost. If that filter is dirty, you can't really overstep that and look beyond, airflow wise what's going on, because guys, a dirty filter in the summertime, it could cause the AC unit to freeze up. And in the wintertime, within the next month or two, once he turns the heat on, now he's going to have a bunch of random limit switch faults. And now he's going to have cold air blowing out the vent. So guys, we found the right filter for that upstairs unit and the downstairs unit. And we got him good to go. But like I said, guys, that was just I call it a nuisance call, but it didn't require any tools. I just had to communicate with him and let him know where everything was, what to do, what not to do. And like I said, guys, it's just ABCs. But guys, I'm on the way to an estimate. This customer, I believe this is a brand new customer. She said that she has a propane furnace and a straight AC. She wanted to look into getting a heat pump outside. She doesn't know, like I said, when she wants to pull the trigger. This might be another informational call I'm on the way to, but she wants to figure out if a heat pump, she wants it, but she wants to figure out if it's possible with the current layout. So guys, I'm on the way there right now to go take a look at what's there. Maybe we have to run some new wires inside and outside. I don't know, but guys, let's go deliver some options. All right, guys. I just came from inside. The customer has actually a recent propane furnace downstairs. I think that furnace is about 2017. It's a horizontal propane furnace. This is the only system for the house. I believe it's a 4-ton horizontal coil downstairs and a 100,000 BTU propane horizontal furnace in the basement. So guys, this customer is sick of running high propane bills in the winter. So she wants to swap this straight AC out with a heat pump. One thing I did mention to her, the pros and cons. Heat pumps are great, but below a certain temperature, she has no choice but to run on propane, which she understands, but she just wants that supplemental heat. And she likes the idea of not having to run propane 100%. if she didn't need to. So heat pumps are great if you get them maintained, guys. I tell customers all the time, and this customer is doing it the right way. She's getting as much information as she can now before making a very, important decision, because once you get the heat pump, you got to have a reason for the heat pump, guys. Most customers are not going to get a heat pump unless it's beneficial towards saving the money on fossil fuel, or if they already have one, unless they had an issue with it, they'll get another one. But guys, this customer is in the informational stage right now. She wants to get as much information as she can. And like I said, guys, based on her pain point of having higher than normal propane bills. She said that the furnace is working fine. Now guys, we don't really deal with utility complaints a lot as far as like with propane related issues. The only thing we do is make sure that the furnace is working fine. But for instance, guys, if she has something else here that was drawing like an abnormally high amount of propane, I mean, that's something that you have to take on a case-by-case basis and like eliminate each and every appliance one by one. Once again, the only thing we can do here is just the furnace and AC, but I don't think there's anything abnormal going on as far as with the propane draw. You know, no leaks or nothing like that. She said everything's working fine. She had someone come out to refill the propane, I believe a couple months ago, and everything was working fine. But at this point, guys, she just wants efficiency. She just wants to, you know, try to lower the propane bill. And like I said, guys, getting the heat pump done is a great option. The heat pump does have an upfront cost, but the benefits you get in the summertime, a heat pump does work like an AC, but in the wintertime, this heat pump is going to be your primary heat source. And guys, whatever fossil fuel or backup heat you have, whether this be electric or gas or propane, that won't kick on until it gets below a certain point, below 32 degrees. So guys, the savings doesn't kick in when it gets below 32 degrees, but the savings for this customer is going to kick in once it gets up above 32, between 33 to 50 degrees. Once you get to those mild nights where, guess what, the customer just wants to turn the heat on to take the chill off. It's not bone chilling cold, but it is a little nippy. Guys, heat pumps are a slam dunk. So, but a lot of customers don't know about this. But like I said, guys, last thing you want to do, or the last thing a customer wants to do, is to get something replaced and not know about the pros and cons. So guys, like I said, I always advocate for customers to take their time, educate themselves, and make sure they have a basic understanding of what something can do and what something can't do. What a heat pump can't do is run 24/7, 365, especially not in Pennsylvania, guys. We have cold winter, so that's something I made sure the customer understood. You know, the heat pump does work, but every piece of equipment has its limitations. As long as you know that limitation and you can combat for it, like I said, that's going to be a slam dunk. But as you see here, they got 2-wire. This is definitely going to have to get upgraded. We might have to change the line set too. We're gonna have to run some 6-wire. The thermostat upstairs has enough wires, and they have a Nest thermostat, which the customer likes, so we don't have to do anything with the thermostat. But here, pad, riser, wires, line set, new insulation. And what's weird is downstairs they got a 410A coil, but it's a 22 condenser out here. So that pretty much tells me that inside they got a 22, they got an R410A horizontal coil, but it's an R22 metering device for sure. But yeah, guys, let me go to the truck. I gotta call the supply house and I'm gonna put together an estimate. And the whip disconnect looks good. But yeah, guys, and right now it's September, so I mean, right now she's heading into the season where you don't really need heat or AC. This is the best time to do it, when it's not real hot or real cold. So I'll be sure to give the customer as much information as I can and make sure that she's confident with knowing what, you know, the pros and cons. She knows what can work for her and what can work against her in regards to these heat pumps. But she seems pretty confident with what's going on, and we're on the same page. Now, guys, I have to go to the truck. I got to put together this estimate, and that's all there is to it, guys. But there you have it. Let me get busy. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.